All right, so are you ready for this? Today we're diving deep into something I know a lot of you are thinking about, laxatives and weight loss.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's looking for that quick fix, that magic bullet.
Right, and the internet is overflowing with them, but we're here to separate fact from fiction and really get to the bottom of what laxatives can and cannot do.
Exactly. So we've got tons of research to go through, from how they actually work in your body to the potential impacts they can have on your health, your energy, even your hormones.
It's wild, and you might be surprised to learn that, contrary to popular belief, laxatives don't actually burn fat.
They don't. So let's break it all down, starting with the basics. How do these things even work?
Yeah, are they really the weight loss miracle some people claim them to be?
Well, not really. If we go back to the basics, laxatives are primarily designed to help relieve constipation.
Okay, so more about keeping things moving.
Exactly. They help things move along in your digestive system, either by stimulating those bowel movements or by softening your stool. That's their main purpose.
So not about melting fat away, it's about, well, making you go to the bathroom more often. But then why do so many people associate laxatives with weight loss?
Yeah, it's understandable why people think that when you use a laxative, you might see the number on the scale go down.
Right, makes sense.
But it's not because you've suddenly lost fat. What you're losing is mostly water weight and waste.
So it's kind of like a temporary fix?
Right. It's like when you sweep dirt under the rug, it might look clean on the surface, but the dirt's still there.
Oh, I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense. So no magical fat burning. But what about metabolism? I've heard that laxatives can speed up your metabolism and help you burn calories faster. Is that true?
Unfortunately, no. It's actually the opposite. When you use laxatives, they often cause dehydration.
Right, that makes sense.
And when your body's dehydrated, it can't function as well, including your metabolism.
You're actually slowing down your metabolism.
Exactly. When you're dehydrated, your metabolism slows down. It's like trying to run a car without enough fuel. It just won't work as efficiently.
So not only are they not burning fat, they could be making it harder for your body to burn calories naturally.
Exactly. And we haven't even talked about the potential long-term impacts on your digestive health and nutrient absorption.
Which is especially important for women, right? Some of the research we looked at suggested that laxative use for weight loss can have some specific risks for women.
Definitely. One of the big ones is the potential impact on hormone balance.
So how do laxatives mess with your hormones?
Well, they don't directly affect your hormones, but the dehydration and nutrient loss they can cause could really throw things off.
Like a domino effect.
Exactly. One imbalance leads to another. And for women, we're talking about things like menstrual cycles being disrupted, energy levels fluctuating, even mood swings.
So it's not just about the number on the scale, it's about the potential for these quick fixes to mess with your body's delicate balance.
Absolutely. And there's also the risk of becoming dependent on laxatives.
Oh, wow.
If you're constantly relying on them to go to the bathroom, your bowel muscles can actually weaken over time.
So you end up needing them even more just to function normally.
Right, it's like any other muscle in your body. Use it or lose it.
Definitely not the outcome anyone wants. But before we go too far down that road, I want to go back to the energy thing for a second. Our research mentioned that some people think laxatives can boost energy levels. Where does that idea come from, and is there any truth to it?
I think it's tied to this whole idea of toxins and cleansing. Some people believe that laxatives flush toxins out of the body, leading to more energy.
Oh, okay.
But your body's already really good at detoxing. Your liver, kidneys, and digestive system are constantly working to eliminate waste products. Laxatives mainly remove water and stool, not toxins.
So more hype than anything.
Exactly. And as we talked about earlier, the dehydration from laxative use can actually make you feel more tired and weak.
Wow, the opposite of what people are hoping for.
Exactly. It just goes to show how important it is to understand how your body really works and make informed choices about your health. Couldn't agree more.
So we've established that laxatives aren't this magical solution for weight loss or energy, but what about people who are using them for constipation relief, not necessarily weight loss? Are there better options out there?
Oh, absolutely. There are gentler and more effective solutions, many of which we've already touched on. Staying hydrated, eating plenty of fiber, getting regular exercise, and managing stress. All of these are key for a healthy digestive system.
It sounds like a holistic approach is key.
Exactly. And there's another powerful tool we haven't discussed yet. Probiotics.
Probiotics, tell me more.
Probiotics are live bacteria that are actually good for your gut health. They help keep your digestive system balanced and can improve digestion, reduce bloating, and even help with regularity.
So are we talking them like things like yogurt and kefir and all those fermented foods that are so popular these days?
Exactly. Those are great sources, and there are also probiotic supplements available. The key is to find what works best for you and your body.
It's like creating a healthy environment in your gut, kind of like tending a garden.
I love that analogy.
But I want to shift gears a little bit now and talk about something else that came up in our research, those detox teas that are all over social media.
Oh yeah, those are everywhere.
Are they safe? Are they effective?
That's a great question, and honestly, most of them are just glorified laxatives in disguise. They're marketed as a quick and easy way to cleanse your body and shed pounds.
Right, all those promises of a flat tummy and glowing skin.
Exactly, but it's mostly marketing hype. The reality is, laxatives aren't a sustainable or healthy way to lose weight or detox your body. And like we said before, they can actually do more harm than good, especially if you use them too much.
So instead of falling for those quick fix promises, it's all about understanding how your body works and making choices that support its natural processes.
I completely agree. And when it comes to detoxing, remember, your body already has an amazing detox system built right in. Your liver, kidneys, and digestive system are working together all the time to filter and eliminate waste products. You don't need a special tea to do that job.
It's like having a built-in cleaning crew working 24/7. Now, another thing we need to address is this idea that laxatives can boost your metabolism and help you burn more calories.
Oh, that's a big one. And unfortunately, it's just not true.
So no metabolic magic.
Nope. In fact, as we've discussed, using laxatives too much can slow down your metabolism because of the dehydration and nutrient loss it causes.
Makes sense. And yet another example of those quick fixes backfiring.
Exactly. And speaking of those negative side effects, I think it's time to talk about some real-life experiences. We actually heard from a listener named Sarah who reached out to share her story about struggling with constipation for years. Sarah, tell us, what led you to try laxatives in the first place?
Wow, Sarah's story is really powerful. It's a reminder that what we see on the surface doesn't always tell the whole story. She was struggling with constipation, and like so many people, she turned to laxatives for a quick fix.
Yeah, and it sounds like she really went through it, trying over-the-counter options, even prescription medications, but nothing seemed to work long-term. It was a long road for her, but what finally helped Sarah break free from that cycle of discomfort?
Yeah, what was the solution?
Well, it wasn't a quick fix, that's for sure. It was a combination of things. Changing her diet, becoming more active, and even learning to manage her stress levels.
So a holistic approach, addressing the root causes rather than masking the symptoms.
Exactly. And one of the first things she did was increase her fiber intake.
Fiber, that's always a good thing, right?
Oh yeah, fiber is so important for keeping things moving smoothly in your digestive system. It's like a natural bulking agent that helps form soft, bulky stools that are easier to pass.
Okay, so more fruits, veggies, whole grains, those are the real heroes here.
Absolutely. And staying hydrated plays a huge role too.
Water, water, water.
Exactly. Water is so important for softening stool and making it easier to eliminate. When you're dehydrated, your body holds onto water wherever it can, even in your colon. And that can make your stool harder and more difficult to pass.
It's like trying to flush a toilet with barely any water. It's not going to work efficiently.
Exactly. So fiber and water are essential, but Sarah didn't stop there. She also started exercising regularly.
Exercise, that's good for pretty much everything.
Right. And when it comes to digestion, exercise is like a natural massage for your intestines. It helps keep everything moving and grooving.
So it's not just about what you're eating, it's also about how you're moving your body.
Exactly. And on top of that, Sarah also incorporated stress reduction techniques into her routine.
That's so important. Stress can really affect your gut health.
Oh, absolutely. Chronic stress can really wreak havoc on your gut. It can disrupt the balance of bacteria, slow down digestion, and even trigger inflammation.
So finding healthy ways to manage stress, like yoga, meditation, or even just spending time in nature, can have a big impact on your digestion.
It's like taking a deep breath for your whole system.
So Sarah's story is a powerful reminder that there's no magic bullet for constipation or weight loss. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your body's natural processing.
I couldn't agree more. And it's so important to remember that laxatives should only be used for occasional constipation relief and always under the guidance of a healthcare professional.
Now, I know some people might be thinking, well, I'm not using laxatives for weight loss, just for constipation. But even then, there are better options out there, right?
Absolutely. And many of them are things we've already talked about. Staying hydrated, getting enough fiber, exercising regularly, and managing stress. These are the foundations of a healthy digestive system.
It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation for everything else to work properly.
Exactly. And there's another powerful tool we haven't mentioned yet, probiotics.
Probiotic, those are the good bacteria, right?
Exactly. Think of them as the good guys that help keep your gut healthy. They can improve digestion, reduce bloating, and even promote regularity.
So we're talking yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, all those fermented foods.
Those are great sources. And there are also probiotic supplements available. The key is to find what works for you.
It's like tending a garden. You need to cultivate a healthy ecosystem in your gut.
I love that analogy.
Okay, so we've talked about probiotic, but I want to shift gears for a second and address a question that came up a lot in our research. What about those detox teas that are all over social media? Are they safe? Are they effective?
That's a great question. And honestly, most of those teas are just laxatives in disguise.
Really? So all those promises of a flat tummy and glowing skin?
Yeah, it's mostly marketing hype. And remember, laxatives aren't a sustainable or healthy way to lose weight or detox, and they can actually cause more harm than good, especially if you use them too often.
So it all comes back to making informed choices and understanding how your body works.
Absolutely. And when it comes to detoxing, your body is already amazing at that. Your liver, kidneys, and digestive system are constantly working to filter and eliminate waste products.
It's like having a built-in cleaning crew.
Exactly. You don't need a fancy tea to do that for you.
Okay, so detox teas are out. But what about this idea that laxatives can boost your metabolism and help you burn more calories?
No, that's another myth. In fact, using laxatives too much can actually slow down your metabolism.
Because of the dehydration?
Exactly. Dehydration and nutrient loss can really hinder your body's natural processes.
So yet another example of those quick fixes backfiring.
It's true. And speaking of negative side effects, I think it's time to talk about a question we got from a listener named Jessica. She's worried that she's become dependent on laxatives after using them for a while. What advice would you give her?
That's a tough situation, and it's definitely something to address with a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. They can help you safely and gradually wean yourself off laxatives and find other solutions for constipation relief.
So working with your body, not against it.
Exactly. And remember, there's no shame in seeking help. This is a common issue, and there are effective ways to address it.
So there's always hope, and there are always healthier options available.
I completely agree. And before we move on, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the potential impact of laxatives on hormone balance.
Right, especially for women.
Exactly. Hormones play such a vital role in our overall health, regulating everything from our menstrual cycles to our mood and energy levels.
So how can laxative use affect that delicate balance?
Well, remember that laxatives can cause dehydration and nutrient loss. And some nutrients, like niacinamide and zinc, are really important for hormone production.
So if you're not getting enough of those nutrients,
It can disrupt your hormone balance. It's like trying to bake a cake without all the ingredients. It's just not going to turn out right.
that's a great analogy. And on top of that, dehydration can stress your adrenal glands, which are responsible for producing hormones like cortisol.
And cortisol is our stress hormone, right?
Exactly. And when your cortisol levels are chronically elevated, it can lead to a bunch of problems, including weight gain, especially around the midsection.
So it's ironic, isn't it? These quick fixes can actually contribute to the very problems you're trying to solve.
It really highlights the importance of taking a holistic approach to your health.
Absolutely. Focusing on nourishing your body from the inside out rather than seeking those temporary fixes that often do more harm than good.
Well said. So if you're feeling tempted to reach for those laxatives, maybe take a step back and consider the bigger picture. Are there underlying issues you need to address? Are you getting enough fiber and water? Are you managing your stress effectively?
Those are all great questions to ask yourself. And remember, there are healthier and more sustainable ways to reach your goals.
Exactly. And let's talk about some of those healthier alternatives. We've already touched on a few, like increasing your fiber intake, staying hydrated, and getting regular exercise. But what about other natural ways to support hormone balance?
Well, one of the most important things you can do is manage your stress levels.
Stress management, that's a big one.
It is. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, which, as we mentioned, can disrupt your hormone balance.
So finding healthy ways to cope with stress is crucial. What are some techniques you recommend?
Oh, there are so many great options. Things like exercise, meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, and connecting with loved ones can all help lower cortisol levels and support hormone balance. It's all about finding what works for you and making it a regular part of your routine.
It's like giving your body a break from the everyday stress.
Exactly. And speaking of giving your body a break, let's not forget about sleep.
Sleep, that's always a good thing.
It is, and it's crucial for hormone regulation. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more cortisol and less melatonin, which is our sleep hormone, and that can disrupt your circadian rhythm and throw your hormones off balance.
So aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night is really important for hormone health.
Absolutely. And while we're talking about those foundational healthy habits, let's not forget about nourishing our bodies with a balanced diet.
Food is medicine. What types of foods are particularly good for hormone balance?
Well, foods rich in healthy fats, like avocados, nuts, and olive oil, are great for supporting hormone production.
And protein is important too, right?
Yes, protein helps stabilize blood sugar levels, which can help regulate hormone production, so make sure you're getting plenty of lean protein in your diet.
And of course, fiber is essential for keeping everything moving smoothly.
Exactly. It all comes back to creating a lifestyle that nourishes your body from the inside out.
And that's a much more sustainable and effective approach than relying on quick fixes like laxatives.
I completely agree. It's like building a solid foundation for a house. You need those strong supports to keep everything stable and balanced.
I love that analogy. Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to Sarah's story for a moment.
Sure, what about it?
Her journey really emphasizes the importance of seeking professional help if you're experiencing chronic constipation.
Oh, absolutely.
There could be an underlying medical condition that needs to be addressed.
Exactly. Don't suffer in silence. A healthcare provider can help you figure out the best course of treatment, which may or may not involve laxatives.
So it's all about getting personalized guidance and finding what works best for you. All right, so welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into laxatives and weight loss.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From those persistent myths to the potential risks. And of course, we talked about some healthier alternatives that can really make a difference.
Yeah, and remember Sarah's story. It really shows how those quick fix promises can be so misleading and how focusing on those foundational habits like getting enough fiber, staying hydrated, and managing stress can actually lead to lasting relief.
It's a great reminder that working with your body, not against it, is key. And speaking of working with your body, I think we need to address this whole detox thing.
Oh yeah, the detox myth. There's always a new product or trend promising to cleanse your body from the inside out. But isn't your body already pretty good at detoxing itself?
It is. Your liver, kidneys, and digestive system work together constantly to filter and eliminate waste products from your body. They're like a highly sophisticated internal cleaning crew, working 24/7.
It's like having a built-in spot treatment, so you really don't need those fancy detox teas or pills.
Nope, you really don't. Your body's got this.
Okay, so detox teas are out. But what about those claims that laxatives can boost your metabolism? Is there any truth to that?
I wish there was, but unfortunately no. As we've talked about, using laxatives too often can actually slow down your metabolism because of the dehydration and nutrient loss.
Right, it's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach. Your body just can't perform at its best.
Exactly. And speaking of things that sound too good to be true, let's talk about those skinny teas and flat tummy supplements that are all over social media.
Oh yeah, those are everywhere. What's the deal with those?
Well, most of them are just laxatives in disguise. They might give you a temporary shift in water weight, but they're not addressing the root causes of weight management.
So it's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. It might cover it up for a little while, but it's not actually fixing the problem.
Exactly. And in the long run, those laxative-laden products can actually make things worse.
So what's the healthier approach?
Sustainable weight management is about making gradual, healthy changes to your lifestyle that you can maintain over time. It's not about quick fixes or magic bullets.
Right, it's a journey, not a splint.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to go back to a question we got from a listener named Jessica. She's worried about becoming dependent on laxatives. What advice would you give her?
Jessica, it's important to know that you're not alone. Laxative dependence is more common than you might think. And there's absolutely no shame in seeking help. The first step is to talk to your doctor.
They can help you safely and gradually wean yourself off laxatives and find other ways to manage constipation.
Exactly. There are so many options out there. Dietary changes, lifestyle modifications, and maybe even other medications if needed.
It's about finding what works best for you and addressing the root causes, not just masking the symptoms.
I couldn't agree more.
And remember, there are resources available to support you. The National Eating Disorders Association, NEDA, is a great resource for anyone struggling with disordered eating patterns that might be connected to laxative use.
And for those dealing with constipation or other digestive health issues, the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases has tons of great information.
So if you're struggling, please know that you're not alone. There is help available, and your health is worth prioritizing.
It absolutely is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's remember the key takeaways. Laxatives are not a miracle solution for weight loss or detoxing, and they can actually be harmful, especially if you overuse them.
Instead of looking for those quick fixes, focus on building those healthy habits that we've talked about. A balanced diet with plenty of fiber, lots of water, regular exercise, and effective stress management techniques.
Those are the cornerstones of a healthy digestive system and overall well-being.
And remember, sustainable weight management is a journey, not a destination.
It's about nourishing your body from the inside out and treating it with kindness.
Well said.
And with that, we've come to the end of our deep dive into laxatives and weight loss. We hope you found this episode informative and empowering.
We did our best to debunk those myths, explore the risks, and highlight some healthier alternatives.
Your health is your most valuable asset, so take good care of it.
Absolutely.
And as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.